Do not rush to spend money replacing this headlight just because it has turned yellow and cloudy after years of use. I tried cleaning it with the usual methods, but the stubborn haze barely changed at all. Most people at this point would take the car to a shop or replace the entire headlight assembly, and that can cost you a pretty large amount of money. But today I will try a completely different method. With only Vaseline and a few cheap ingredients available right at home, can we make this headlight that seems beyond saving clear and bright again? Do not look away because the final result may make you wish you had known this trick many years earlier. I start by adding a little Vaseline into a glass cup, then add toothpaste and stir everything together. The goal of this mixture is not to create a miracle, but to see whether it can affect the oxidized plastic layer on the surface of the headlight. Toothpaste has mild abrasive power, while Vaseline creates lubrication and helps the mixture stay on the surface longer. With a headlight that has been yellowed for many years, the haze is usually on the outer plastic layer. So ordinary wiping alone will have a hard time creating any clear change. I add a small amount of Coca-Cola. Honestly, I'm also quite curious whether this ingredient will make any difference during the experiment. There's no need to pour in too much because if the mixture becomes too thin, it will run off the headlight very quickly. Just a little is enough to change the texture, helping the mixture become softer and easier to spread evenly. When the mixture is ready, I spread it evenly over the entire surface of the headlight. Use a brush to spread it from one edge to the other, making sure to cover even the curved corners of the headlight. The areas near the edges are often missed, and if they are not treated evenly, the headlight will not look evenly bright at the end. If you have ever tried making a headlight brighter with household ingredients, comment below and let me know whether it really worked. I would really like to know which tricks are worth testing in the next video. To give the mixture more time to work on the surface, I cover it with a soft towel and keep it damp for a few minutes. This towel layer helps keep the mixture from drying too quickly and keeps it in more even contact with the plastic surface. There is no need to wait too long, just enough time for the mixture to hold better before moving into the main treatment step. While waiting, I prepare another solution. The interesting thing is that this solution is not used right away, while the headlight is still dirty. It only works more clearly after the surface has been cleaned, wet sanded, and polished. If it is used too early, the oxidation layer on the outside is still there, so you will almost not see much difference. So remember this part because later we will come back to it in the final finishing step. After checking it, I noticed the outer plastic layer has started to feel a little softer. So I decide to use fine sandpaper with 1000 grit to remove the oxidation that has built up for years. Keep the sandpaper wet, move it evenly, and do not stay in one spot for too long. The goal at this step is not to make the headlight clear immediately, but to remove the aged plastic layer on the very outside. After each sanding pass, I spray water to remove the tiny plastic particles and check the level of improvement. The milky white water running down shows that the oxidation layer is being removed from the surface. If you keep sanding without spraying water to check, it is very easy to overwork one area and make the surface uneven. Now we continue brushing the mixture back on and repeat this process. And what surprises me is that the headlight starts becoming clearer after each treatment step. It is not completely bright yet, but the yellow haze has clearly reduced. Now we continue brushing the mixture back on and repeat this process with 1500 grit sandpaper. If the 1000 grit sandpaper helps remove the main oxidation layer, the 1500 grit helps smooth out the small scratches that were just created. At this point, the headlight is already much brighter than it was at the beginning, but I still want to see where its limit is. Keep the surface wet sand more lightly and move evenly in long passes. There is no need to use strong pressure because fine sandpaper needs time to level the surface. The more you rush at this step, the easier it is for tiny scratches to overlap and make the headlight look cloudy again after it dries. I wet the surface one more time and treat the remaining hazy spots. After spraying water, I notice the tiny plastic particles no longer appear as much as before. This is a sign that the surface layer has started to become more stable. When the amount of white residue gradually decreases, it means the heavy oxidation has been removed almost completely. In the next step, I use sandpaper with a higher grit to finish it one last time. Rinse the entire headlight surface clean. The goal of this step is to even out the surface before polishing, not to remove too much more material. Move the sandpaper lightly and evenly across the whole headlight area, especially the spots that were heavily yellowed. You can see that the oxidized plastic layer has been removed almost completely. However, after sanding, the surface is still slightly hazy. That is why we need the polishing step to bring back the clarity and reflection. To increase the shine and help the tiny grooves on the headlight surface become smoother, I apply a thin layer of toothpaste and use a polishing machine to work the entire surface. The toothpaste layer does not need to be too thick, just enough to coat the surface so the polishing machine can move more smoothly. I move the machine evenly, use moderate pressure, and watch the reflection on the surface. I wipe away all the remaining toothpaste and use a hair dryer to dry the surface completely. The drying step is very important because if water remains in the tiny grooves, the final coating will not spread evenly. Do not hold the hair dryer too close to one spot for too long, because the headlight plastic should not take concentrated heat for too much time. Finally, the solution I prepared while waiting is used. I apply a thin layer across the entire headlight surface and use a soft towel to wipe it evenly to make the headlight look clearer and brighter. This layer helps the remaining tiny marks look smoother and gives the surface a nicer gloss in the final test. And here is the final result. It is hard to believe that a heavily yellowed car headlight can become brighter and clearer after only a short amount of time. Compared with the beginning, light passes through the headlight better. The plastic looks less yellow, and the surface looks much cleaner. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you have any ideas or useful tricks, comment below. I will read all of them, and there is a good chance your idea will become the content of the next video.